Thank you. Lovely to see you all. Glad I made it here, finally at midnight last night. I'm sure everybody had some travel hitches, but it's actually not that bad here. It's not that cold. And it's nice and warm in here, and I'm so happy to be here with all of you hosting this evening's showcase. It's just a very nice opportunity to, I think, look a little bit behind the scenes at some of the people who make up the Sphinx family. I've been a member of this family since 2016, precisely the spring of 2016. If you remember that, a lot of things have changed since then. But I came into this family at a time when my work was really, I think, coming together around some very American concepts that have remained true and steady, and I think that they are at the heart of all of our work. So I'd like to start by playing a couple of pieces for you by a composer who everybody keeps calling forgotten and rediscovered, but I kind of feel like we never forgot her, Florence Price. I recorded a big piano piece of hers on the album I was working on in 2016. It's called Fantasy Negre, a big overblown piano fantasy based on a spiritual. I went and performed that piece at a university in Texas. My host was a musicologist who was already very interested in Florence Price. We spent dinner talking about her work. I think the week after I left, he flew down to Arkansas and went into the archives and brought back a whole bunch of new piano music that I've been really enjoying. So I'd like to play for you two pieces, Memory Mist and Sketches in Sepia. Thank you so much. Thanks. Rediscovered again. I would love to invite to the stage one of our favorite people around here, Miss Ifetayo Ali Landing. Hello, dear. Come join me. This is the Charlie Rose corner over here. So the last time that Ifetayo and I saw each other was in Chicago, early fall, right, late summer. And I called on her to help me with a project, which is a project that involves a lot of women. It was a really beautiful day in the studio, just so nice to just come together with you and do that. And that's one of the things I really love about Sphinx is that we're able to kind of find each other all over the world and jump into new projects together. And it's been really fun. You're growing up so fast, it's ridiculous. But Ifetayo and I, we just keep, I guess, crossing paths from the top, Sphinx here and there. I wanted to ask you, actually, we email each other not infrequently, and I have a question for you about your email address, which is yo-yo cello, which is just a little bit misleading or something. So could you explain how that came about?
Yes. Okay, so I was 9 when I got my email, and that was back when no one was supposed to put their name anywhere on the internet. So my aunt was like, well, we can't put Ifetayo, but it ends in yo, and Yo-Yo Ma's famous, so we're going to use yo-yo cello. Yep.
Do you ever get fan mail that's not intended for you?
No.
You'll get fan mail that is intended for you soon enough. So we're going to play a piece that I actually first learned when I got a really great phone call one morning from Aaron Dworkin saying, hey, do you want to make a video with Yo-Yo and me, the other Yo-Yo? And it's a wonderful piece by Marlos Nobre called Poema 3. When Yo-Yo and I and Aaron played it, the only tiny little drawback, it was a piece for spoken word, and we were like the backup, we were the band for Aaron, which meant that we kind of had to like keep things a little bit contained because he was reading this incredible poem that he wrote, but he's not here right now on stage, so we can just play out and have fun with the music. Thank you, Ifetayo. Thalea String Quartet, if you will. Hi. You guys cleaned up. Hi. I know, you guys are looking good. Yeah, we all had some hotel mishaps today. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Lots of things to talk about, but we're short on time. Tell me, you were just on the road all together for about 6 weeks. I was just reading this novel on a plane flight recently about this very overblown thing about this Israeli string quartet, and they've been together for decades, and some of them are married and then divorced from each other, but they're still together till then actually one of them dies in the middle of the tour. So I assume nothing like that happened, but tell me about traveling together. Traveling together and, getting along and all that. Who wants to take this one? Someone's got to take the mic.
I'll take the dive. I'll take the dive. We were on the road for the last 6 weeks, but that tied in with the holiday season. So of course, how do you want to kick off the spring after eating like 10 pounds of food and doing all that stuff is working really hard. So we were doing that in January, so it's always really tough. But I think the thing that we learned the most is just kind of being honest with how we're feeling at the time and place that we're at. So it's really unrealistic to always think that all your colleagues are A-okay all the time, because it's okay if they're not. And so if I come in and I look especially grumpy, my hair is like off to the side and droopy, they know something's up with me. So they're maybe not going to they're not going to push my buttons too hard or something like that. But it's all about kind of being honest with yourself in the time and place, and kind of with each other, and move forward from that. What do you think has been helpful?
Yeah, I think for us right now, that being on the road for long stretches is pretty new. So this is a new learning experience for all of us. I mean, today we all woke up ready to go all day, and as many of you may have experienced, there was no water at the Holiday Inn. So we were all ready to get in our showcase gear and come on down and meet people, and we were not looking very good, not very happy, not particularly awake. And we had to completely shift our entire day. We had a nice rehearsal planned, all of this stuff, and it just goes out the window, and you just have to be okay with it sometimes. So it's kind of exciting. It keeps you on your toes quite a bit.
So it's like being honest and spontaneous. You guys sound like marriage counselors, I have to say.
We have worked with some career coaches, some life coaches, to give us these techniques. Yeah.
Okay, so the other thing I notice about you is that there's a look happening that involves hair and outfits and lipstick, and this doesn't just happen. So tell me a little bit about how this fits into the brand, as we say, and your interaction with audiences, and your vision for yourselves. I'm giving this to the ladies.
So, like you said, we do have a look, and both Kumiko and I have a lot to do with that. I am actually also a photographer, so I do all of our photos and branding for that. And Kumiko is amazing and does all of our website stuff and social media, and we like to use that to interact with our audiences.
As Titi mentioned, she is a photographer, but she's a wonderful photographer, and she makes my job to put her photos into our promotional materials very easy. We also we are lucky that I guess all of our individual styles, complement each other, and we have kind of similar taste. And really, though, we use how we present ourselves on stage and what we wear just as another tool to connect with our audiences, because they're able to kind of, get to know us a little bit without us talking or playing it, just by visually seeing us. So we each like to wear what we're comfortable with ourselves, and we want to feel good with how we feel and what we're wearing, and I think that translates to how we play, and we're lucky that it kind of coordinates.
Lovely. Well, as I said, we don't have all night, so I'm going to let you play. Would you like to introduce what you're going to say?
Sure. So we will also introduce ourselves. My name is Titi Layo Ayangade. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio.
I'm Kumiko Sakamoto. I'm from Medicine Hat, Canada.
I'm Luis Beyuring. I grew up in Naperville, Illinois, but my parents are both from Caracas, Venezuela. So those Thank you. So, los venezolanos, necesito practicar el español. So, please find me afterwards. Come say hi.
And I'm Chris Whitley, and I'm from Toronto, Canada. Go Leafs? I don't know. I'm a little nervous.
So the piece we'll be playing for you tonight is the first movement of William Grant Still's lyric string quartet called The Sentimental One. And as many of you know, I'm sure, William Grant Still was considered to be the dean of African American composers. But a lot of people I've talked to at this conference don't seem to know the piece, so I hope you love it as much as I do. And it actually has a very sentimental connection for me because it was the first string quartet that I ever played when I was 12, which was actually the summer before I went to Sphinx Performance Academy.
Thank you so much. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Thank you. Ciyadh, will you come join me? Ciyadh Wells, guitarist from Athens, Georgia. Come sit. I told Ciyadh today, I was hearing some auditions recently, and we were hearing a whole day of pianists and violinists and everybody, and then this classical guitarist came out. It was in a very big hall, and I found myself, it was such a shock, like just a big shift in sound world. And I was leaning over to my colleague saying, can he play louder? Is he supposed to play louder? And I realized this is the thing. Your instrument is such an intimate instrument, and you have to play in big halls sometimes. We were talking a little bit about, what is the ideal scenario? But I also asked you for some advice for me. How do I, how do I come into your world of classical guitar when I'm in this other big world of big sounds?
I think you just have to understand that guitar is going to be quiet, and that is okay. We are doing the best that we can. I promise you, we're playing as loud as we can. We have the most expensive instruments that we can, and so we're just doing our best. And sometimes, like tonight, we have microphones, so that's awesome. But many nights we won't, and that's okay too.
I feel like the world... The world is so noisy. It's almost a gift these days to focus in, to lean in. And so you've got our rapt attention. And what are you going to do with it today? What are you going to play for us?
I am going to play the third movement, which is entitled Danza, from Suite Castellana, composed by Federico Moreno Toroba.
Thank you, Ciyadh.